What if the secret to lighter, pain-free legs was already sitting in your kitchen? What if 7 simple days could restore the energy in your step, and all it took was one forgotten bottle? And what if this ancient remedy could do what pills and machines couldn't, without side effects? A week ago, her legs were swollen, heavy, and stiff. Just standing up from a chair felt like dragging blocks of concrete. Each step was slow. Sleep was restless. And the ache, it never fully went away. This isn't some rare condition. It's something millions of people over 60 quietly live with every single day. But here's the part no one expects. After just 7 days, her legs felt lighter. The pain faded. She could move more freely, sleep better, and even enjoy a morning walk without fear of stumbling. No prescriptions, no doctor visits, no expensive equipment. All she did, she applied a simple oil to her legs every day. An oil most of us already have, one that's been used for centuries, yet nearly forgotten in today's world of pills and procedures. What it did in just 1 week felt nothing short of incredible. No stress, no side effects, just relief. So if you're tired of the pain, the swelling, and that nagging heaviness, this video is for you because yes, you can ease it. You can feel light again. And it starts with something as small and powerful as this natural oil. Stick around. By the end, you'll know exactly how to use it, what changes to expect day by day, and 3 natural combinations to take it even further. But first, leave a comment below with your age and where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss practical, natural tips that truly work. Now, let's take a closer look at why legs after 60 start to feel heavier and what's really going on beneath the surface. Chapter 1: The Quiet Weight We Carry. Margaret didn't wake up one morning with heavy legs. It happened little by little. At first, it was just a dull ache behind her knees, barely noticeable, after walking to the mailbox. Then her ankles began to puff up by evening, even on days she hardly moved. When she bent down to water her plants, her calves cramped. By the time she turned 72, even getting out of her recliner felt like a task that required more effort than she ever expected. Like many women her age, Margaret quietly thought, well, maybe this is just what getting older feels like. But the truth? Her body had been sending quiet warnings for years. Her circulation was slowing. The blood vessels that once pumped effortlessly were now stiff, narrow. Blood wasn't flowing down or back up as it used to. Without steady circulation, her legs were starving for oxygen and nutrients. That's why they felt tired, weak, like just couldn't keep up. At the same time, fluid was building in her lower body. Her kidneys and lymphatic system weren't clearing water as efficiently. Gravity pulled everything downward to her feet and ankles. The swelling wasn't just uncomfortable. It made walking harder, balance more unstable, and sleep more restless. And let's not forget muscle loss. Without regular stimulation, the muscles in her thighs and calves were quietly shrinking. She wasn't lazy, just unaware. But weaker muscles meant more strain on her joints and a greater chance of falling. Was it hopeless? Not at all. Her body didn't need a miracle. It needed support. And Margaret found that support in the most unexpected place. Let's talk about it now. Chapter 2: The Forgotten Bottle. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when Margaret stumbled upon the bottle. She wasn't even looking for it. She had simply decided to reorganize her spice cabinet, something she hadn't done in years. And there it was, a small glass bottle tucked behind the vinegar and a half-used jar of dried oregano. She picked it up, read the label, and smiled to herself. Rosemary oil. She remembered buying it ages ago, after reading it was good for sore muscles. But like so many things, it had been tucked away and forgotten. That night, her legs were aching again. And instead of reaching for the heating pad like usual, she thought, why not? She rubbed a few drops of the rosemary oil between her palms, warmed it gently, and massaged it into her calves and thighs. The scent alone shifted the whole atmosphere. Herbal, fresh, calming. But what happened next truly surprised her. Within minutes, a soft warmth began to rise beneath her skin. Not a burn, just a comforting sensation as if her legs were slowly waking up. That night, for the first time in weeks, she slept through. No cramping, no jolts, just peace. Rosemary oil might sound simple, just another kitchen herb, but there's a reason it's been used for generations. It's packed with powerful plant compounds like rosmarinic acid and antioxidants. These natural elements help boost blood flow, soothe inflamed tissues, and release muscle tension. In fact, ancient Greek and Roman healers used rosemary oil for this very reason, to ease tired legs, stiff joints, and aching feet after long journeys. What makes it special is how fast it works. It stimulates peripheral circulation, bringing blood back to the areas that need it most: the legs, the ankles, the feet. And thanks to its anti-inflammatory nature, it also reduces swelling from long hours of standing or sitting. Maybe just as important, it brings a sense of peace, the scent, the warmth, the ritual. For Margaret, it became more than just a massage. It became a moment for herself. Now, if you're wondering exactly how she used it, not just what she used, but how, that's what we'll walk through next. Let's continue. Chapter 3: A Ritual, Not a Routine. The way Margaret used rosemary oil wasn't complicated, but it was intentional. And that made all the difference. The best time to apply the oil? Right after a warm shower. That's when your skin is clean, your pores are open, and your muscles are already a little relaxed. But even without a shower, what mattered most was that her legs were clean and dry. Each time, Margaret would hold the little bottle in her hands for a few seconds, just enough to warm it gently. If it felt cold, she'd place it near a warm towel for a moment. Then she'd pour 5 or 6 drops into her palm, rub her hands together slowly, and take a deep breath. That scent, herbal, earthy, grounding, was like flipping a switch. It told her body, this is your time now. She always started at her ankles, moving in slow circles upward, not rushing, not pressing too hard, just firm, loving strokes up the calves, behind the knees, back down the shins, then higher to the thighs. And on her thighs, she moved even slower, long, enveloping motions, like she was giving her legs a hug. It wasn't just massage, it was connection. One leg took about 5 to 7 minutes. She breathed deeply as she moved in through the nose, out through the mouth, syncing her breath with her touch. It became a kind of meditation, a moment of silence and care in a noisy, busy world. And here's what she found worked best: twice a day, once in the morning to energize the legs for the day ahead, and again at night to release all the pressure and tension that had built up. 7 days. That's all it took for her to feel the shift. After that first week, Margaret didn't stop. She simply adjusted, sometimes once a day, sometimes only at night when her legs felt heavier. But it was no longer a chore. It had become part of her rhythm, like brushing her teeth or sipping tea before bed. And if you want to make it even more powerful, there are a few simple additions that can take this ritual even further. We'll explore those in the next part. Chapter 4: Small Additions, Big Impact. After her massage, Margaret began to notice that a few small touches made a big difference. Sometimes she'd prop her legs up on 2 pillows, just 15 minutes of elevation to help the blood flow gently back toward her heart. Other times, if her legs were especially sore, she'd lay a warm, damp towel across them after massaging. That moist heat helped the oil absorb deeper, and it brought an extra layer of comfort. But the most powerful addition? Stillness. No phone, no TV, no background noise, just Margaret, her hands, her breath, her body. Because when you slow down, truly slow down, something changes, not just in your legs, but in your spirit too. You reconnect, you soften, you remember that healing doesn't have to be loud or complicated. And if you're wondering what actually happens after a full week of this, day by day, moment by moment, well, that's exactly what we'll explore next. Because for Margaret, the surprise wasn't just in how her legs felt, it was how fast they began to respond. Chapter 5: The 7-Day Shift. What surprised Margaret most wasn't just that her legs felt better, it was how quickly they responded. By the end of the first week, something had shifted, something she hadn't felt in years. And while every body is different, many people report a similar rhythm of change. Day 1 wasn't about instant pain relief, it was about presence. Taking time to massage her legs, to breathe, to focus on herself. She already felt lighter. Not necessarily in her legs, but emotionally. It reminded her her body still mattered. She still mattered. By day 2, she noticed a subtle difference. Her legs didn't feel as stiff when standing up. And that night, for the first time in a while, no cramping woke her. She slept more deeply, more peacefully. Day 3 brought a little surprise. While moving around the house, she realized she wasn't shuffling anymore. Her steps felt smoother. Her feet weren't dragging. Yes, there was still soreness, but the heaviness was beginning to lift. By day 4, her skin looked healthier. The dryness and flakiness she'd ignored, gone. now replaced with a soft glow. Her legs looked alive again, and that made her feel more alive too. On days 5 and 6, something else emerged: confidence. She walked taller, didn't hesitate when stepping off a curb. She even climbed the stairs without gripping the railing. And then came day 7. She paused, looked down at her legs, and smiled, because for the first time in a long time, they didn't feel like a burden. They felt like a part of her again. And while those 7 days brought real change, some people find even better results when they explore other oils that match their body's specific needs. Let's take a look at a few of the best ones next. Chapter 6: Beyond Rosemary. Other oils that help rosemary oil worked wonders for Margaret, but it's not the only natural option. In fact, depending on what your legs are going through, whether it's swelling, nighttime cramps, or visible veins, another oil might suit your body even better. Let's start with one that many people over 60 are rediscovering: arnica oil. If your legs bruise easily, feel tender to the touch, or swell after walking or standing, this might be exactly what your body's been asking for. Arnica comes from a bright yellow flower, long used in traditional remedies across Europe. When applied properly, it eases inflammation and calms overworked muscle tissue. Margaret's friend Helen, 75 years old, who spends most days standing at her market stall selling vegetables, now swears by it. After using arnica oil for just a few days, the soreness behind her knees melted away. Now, if sleep is your biggest struggle, especially if leg discomfort keeps you awake, there's lavender oil. Its scent alone can quiet the mind, but when massaged into the legs, it does even more. Lavender gently relaxes tense muscles, soothes overactive nerves, and brings the whole body into rest. It doesn't just help your legs rest, it helps you rest. And then there's horse chestnut oil, especially useful if you struggle with poor circulation or visible veins. It's been used throughout Europe, especially in Germany, to strengthen blood vessel walls and reduce that heavy, dragging feeling in the legs. If your ankles swell by the end of the day or you feel like your legs are giving out, horse chestnut may be what your body truly needs. But here's the beauty of natural care: you don't have to choose just one. Some people blend a few drops of each oil into a carrier like almond or olive oil and apply it the same way. Others alternate based on how their legs feel that day. What matters most? Listening. Your body always speaks. These oils simply help you answer. But remember, no oil, no matter how powerful, works alone. To truly transform how your legs feel, there are a few simple daily habits that make all the difference. Let's explore those next. Chapter 7: Habits that Complete the Healing. If you've ever wondered why some people get faster results than others, here's the quiet secret: the oil does its part, but your daily habits complete the picture. Margaret didn't overhaul her entire lifestyle overnight. She didn't join a gym. She didn't start taking a dozen new supplements. What she did was much simpler and far more sustainable. Every morning before breakfast, she took a 10-minute walk around the block. No pressure, no rush, just fresh air, steady steps, and rhythm in her legs. That gentle movement worked like a pump, boosting circulation and helping the oil work deeper and longer. She also added 3 basic exercises, all done right at home. Standing by the kitchen counter, she'd rise onto her toes and slowly lower back down, strengthening her calves. While sitting in her armchair, she'd stretch one leg out at a time, engaging her thighs. And whenever she remembered, she made soft circles with her ankles, keeping things moving. No more than 5 minutes, but the impact? Huge. Her meals didn't change drastically either. She just added more foods that supported healthy blood flow, like garlic, turmeric, and berries, and she cut back just a little on salt, especially in the evenings. That alone helped reduce the swelling in her ankles. And finally, rest. Every afternoon, Margaret took 15 minutes to elevate her legs. 2 pillows under her calves, lying back, breathing. That short break gave her veins time to reset and allowed swelling to melt away. At night, she tucked a soft pillow under her ankles while she slept. Simple changes, but together they added up beautifully. And as more people begin this journey, naturally, more questions come up. So let's take a moment to answer the most common ones, honestly and clearly. Chapter 8: Your Questions Answered. As more people begin this simple journey, a few key questions always come up, and they matter. Because when you understand your own body better, you get better results. The first question is often, can I still use the oil if I have varicose veins? Yes, absolutely, but use it gently. If your veins are visible or sensitive, don't apply strong pressure directly on them. Use soft upward strokes around the area, never forceful, and elevate your legs afterward. That one small step can make a big difference. Next comes, I'm over 80. Will this still work for me? The answer, yes. Age doesn't cancel your body's ability to respond. It might take a little more time, but your skin, muscles, and circulation, they still listen. We've heard from people in their late 80s, even early 90s, who felt stronger, more stable, and more connected after just a few days of consistent care. Then there's the question, is this only for women? Not at all. Men need this just as much. Poor circulation, leg cramps, muscle loss, these issues don't play favorites. In fact, many older men who had never tried massage before were shocked by how deeply it helped them, not just physically, but emotionally too. Another common one, how long should I keep using it? There's no fixed rule. 7 days is a great start. After that, continue once a day or a few times a week. Whatever feels right for you. For many, it becomes a nightly ritual, something they look forward to. Just listen to your body. It will tell you. And finally, perhaps the most important, what if I don't feel results right away? That's okay. Everyone's body responds differently. If your legs have been struggling for years, it may take more than a few days to unwind the tension. Be patient. Be consistent. Pair the oil with movement, hydration, and rest. Give it a little time. Even the smallest shifts, less swelling, deeper sleep, easier steps, means something is already working. But before we wrap up, there's one last thing I want to share. Something people don't hear often enough, and it matters more than you think. Let's close with that. Chapter 9, a final word. Love your legs again. Before this video ends, there's something I want to remind you of. Something simple, but deeply powerful. Your legs have carried you through a lifetime, through celebrations, through loss, through every step, every season that brought you to where you are now. They supported you when no one else could. And maybe, somewhere along the way, you stopped noticing them. Or worse, you started resenting them. For hurting, for slowing down, for changing shape. But here's the truth, they still deserve care. You still deserve care. Not because you're trying to look younger, not because you need to prove anything, but because attention is a form of love, and your body at every age is worthy of that love. So tonight, take 5 quiet minutes, sit down, warm a little oil in your hands, breathe slowly, and listen to your breath, to your body, to that quiet sense of coming home, to yourself. If this video meant something to you, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more real, natural ways to feel strong, supported, and fully alive in your own body. Until next time, walk gently and walk with love.